Oh hey, how's it going? Just driving on the road right now, heading to my dad's work. Gonna work on my car with my buddy. I was just thinking about something I wanted to share and kind of talk about it because I think it's pretty interesting. I just passed a billboard back there and it says, "Jesus is alive!" exclamation point. And I was like, yes, he is. Absolutely. Yes, he is. And I didn't see the rest of what they said on it, but there are some other things on it too, but that was the main premise. And then I was thinking, like, when people make billboards like that, what are they trying to say? But not mostly what are they trying to say, mostly what do they mean? What do they mean when they say Jesus is alive, right? And I mean, there's a lot of really basic interpretations that you can come up with. There's lots of thoughts, right? He was resurrected. He died on the cross, but he rose on the third day, and he's still alive, and he is seated next to God the Father in heaven, which is absolutely true. Yes, but I was just also thinking. See, there's a lot of people who have, I don't know, they have beliefs that are, I guess, kind of metaphysical in a way. And I know I've been here before too. And there's like the belief where, see, I think it gets interesting. And I think it gets interesting, especially when it starts getting into the territory of, and nothing against people who believe this. I don't believe this myself, and I know that it's not the truth, but there's a belief that God doesn't have a body and that he is formless and shapeless and infinite, and infinite's not the best word for this explanation, but is he just doesn't have a body. He's everywhere. He exists everywhere. And we can't comprehend what it will be like to be in his presence. Well, I agree with you to a certain point that we can't comprehend what it'll be like to be in his presence, because it will be so amazing. I do truly believe. I mean, I know it will be so amazing. But this whole thing about him not having a body and just being like this formless being that just exists everywhere at the same time, everywhere. He's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. He's kind of like Santa Claus when he is delivering the Christmas presents, like, and there's a lot of truth that's used to come to these conclusions, but these are just the wrong conclusions. They're just incomplete conclusions, basically, because God does have a body. He is in one place, and we have his spirit. His spirit is here on the earth. And it can live in us if we are worthy. We can feel his spirit, and so in a lot of ways he is everywhere at once, in a lot of ways, in certain ways, but it's not like he's a big formless being that doesn't have a body and he just exists in the expanse of space and he's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It's not like that. And so I think that when people think about that kind of belief, when we start thinking about God in that sort of way, it kind of gets into this mystical, like, metaphysical realm where we don't really focus on the fact, we don't think about him being in one central place. And the way we think about him, the concept of how we think about him, it becomes this big thing. It's just this concept that we can't comprehend, because it's over our head, and it's, by the very nature of the way we are thinking about it, it's over our head. It's beyond our comprehension, because it's beyond our comprehension, that way of thinking about him. But it's not true that he doesn't have a body. It's not true that he is this impossible to understand God. And that's another point I'd like to make. I'd like to make this point really quick and just kind of share and say that there are a lot of people, and this is something that you'll hear evangelicals say a lot, You'll hear them say this. They'll say things like, "You can't understand God," and then they'll use words like, or they'll use verses like, "Your ways are not my ways." Like God speaking to humans, "Your ways are not my ways," and they make him out to be this incomprehensible being, impossible to understand. We can't. There's so much, and this is also embedded in Trinity theology, where it's like the belief in the Trinity, and it's like it's all rooted in this concept that says we can't know, we just can't know. It's an unknowable concept, and it's a mystery. It's a divine mystery, and it's all these things, and Christians like this because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel good. It makes them feel like, yeah, we have a God who's hard to understand. Yeah, he's hard to conceptualize. You can't even imagine. He's so powerful. He's so beyond space and time. He's so beyond. And it's like there's truth to it. Like he is beyond space and time because, well, he's beyond time because he created it and he's eternal. And eternity definitely is beyond time. But I'm just trying to paint a picture here and just kind of just trying to make a point and share this point that there's a lot of like cosmic or like conceptual thinking about God and how unknowable he is, and how like, oh man, he's beyond this, he's beyond that, he's so. And I'm not saying he's not wonderful, because of course he's wonderful. He's the best. He's God, But I'm just saying that there's a lot of misconceptions about him, and when you spend a bunch of time talking about how you can't know God, it's like you'll notice a lot of hypocrisy and a lot of no offense, there is a lot of, I'm not trying to be destructive here, but there is a lot of hypocrisy in Christian teachings that don't have the fullness of the gospel, aka they don't have the Book of Mormon, they don't have modern prophets, they don't understand that what we have is the truth. And so they rely on these guesses, because that's all they are. They're just guesses. They've read the Bible and they've come to this conclusion about this, and they've come to this conclusion about that, and they know it's true because it says it in the Bible. And it's like, but they take verses out of context, they isolate them, and then they spend a bunch of time saying you can't know God. He's the unknowable God. He's incomprehensible. He's unknowable. But then they also say, do you have a relationship with him? And there's like some controversy. There's like some hypocrisy there. It's like, well, how can you have a relationship with him if you can't know him, right? And that's my point. It's like you can know him. And I'm not trying to say that he isn't. I'm not trying to say that there's things about him that we can't understand, because there are things about him that we can't understand. I'd say there is a lot about him that we can't understand. But the whole name of the game isn't that he is someone that we can't understand, right? And because that would eliminate the whole point of being like him. That would be, well, if we can't understand him, how could we ever be like him? And but of course, I'll poke holes in my own theory right there and say, how can we understand him how can we be like him if we don't understand him? Exactly. That's why Jesus Christ was sent, so we could understand God and know him and become like him by following Jesus Christ, right? That's why we're given Jesus Christ, one of the reasons. But I just wanted to speak about this because there's this, like, I keep saying metaphysical realm, but I think that's an appropriate description of it. But like when it says Jesus is alive, people are like, yeah, Jesus is alive. Yeah, he's alive. Yeah, he is. But then it's like, but if you ask them, okay, well, where is he then? It's like you can cause them struggle by asking them that question, and they'll be like, well, he's in my heart, or or they'll say that he's at the right hand of the Father. He's sitting in heaven with God, which is the right answer. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying people have this like this metaphysical belief about him that like he's like, yeah, he exists, but he's like, he's alive, yeah, he's alive, but, and he is, but it's like he exists in this concept they have of him in their minds instead of where he really exists. I'm not trying to be weird with this conversation, I guess, but I just had these thoughts when I was seeing this billboard, because it's like, I just know that not everybody understands, not everybody knows, and it's really so simple. Like, it says it right, so straightforward in the Bible, and I guess I just get frustrated because people, like, they misinterpret the Bible so much, and they take things out of context so much, and they say, oh, well, look, it says right here, this, and this, so that's the truth. It's like, yeah, but don't you realize the context of that? Don't you realize, like, that is not, it's not speaking universally, that's not speaking to us now, that is speaking to the people then in that situation, you know? And it's just interesting. I'm just trying to shine some light is all. I'm just ultimately just trying to shine some light and kind of, and highlight the truth a little bit, and share the truth, of course. But yeah, so you guys, you say, something rattling around here, I don't know what that is. You guys who say, you know, Jesus Christ is alive. Yes, he is. He is alive. You're right. Guess what? You're right. And that's great news, right? It is great news. It is such great news. It's great news that we should be so happy about, right? But at the same time, there's more to it than that. There's more clarity to that. There's more truth to that. And so I just want to share with you guys that yes, Jesus Christ is alive. But he is not this bodiless, ephemeral being. He's not like this, where's he at? I don't know. He's not like that. He's like, no, he has a body. He has a body. He has a glorified, resurrected body. And he's sitting right next to God the Father in heaven. That's where he is. He is alive, and that's where he is. And we can have him in our hearts because of his spirit, right? So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I share that in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.